You log into the Division 2 and you realize your stash looks like this. 500 out of 500. If your stash looks anything like this right now, you're probably not alone. You see, our goal is to bring that down in the matter of minutes, as I did right here. This is what my stash currently sits at, more than halfway depleted from the 500. So I'm going to help you in this video with that whole situation. I know stash inventory management is the most boring thing possible, but I know many of you can relate. So if you're excited for this video, like, comment, subscribe, and let's get into the video. Ever since prototype gear got added, I swear inventory management in Division 2 has become worse than ever. Every build guide says keep this piece, keep that piece, don't delete this because it might actually be useful later, and before you know it, you're sitting at 500 out of 500 wondering what you can actually get rid of. And honestly, with the devs hinting at future prototype recalibration systems, I think a lot of players, including me, have been hoarding gear out of fear of deleting something important. Or if you're just someone that loves to build craft, I know you guys like to just keep gear pieces for the day you choose to implement that piece in certain builds. So in this video, like I said, I'm going to show you exactly how I manage my stash, what I delete immediately, what I always keep, and hopefully by the end of this we can free up some space without regretting it later, because I'm tired of seeing this number sit at 499, 500, way up, where there's no room for any sort of stashing overall. Alright, let's start with the stuff I personally have no problem deleting, because honestly this is where most of the stash space gets wasted. The first thing I'm looking at is duplicate exotics. Now obviously keep multiple copies if you're actually using different roles or different expertise investments, but if I've got 3 or 4 copies of the exact same exotic sitting in my stash collecting dust, those are usually the first things to go, and honestly the components are more worth it nowadays. You can always reacquire a lot of these later, and I'd rather free up space than hold on to duplicates I'm realistically never touching. Next up is very common from a lot of players, which is poorly rolled gear. This one sounds obvious, but you'd be surprised how much gear sits in people's stash because they think maybe I'll use it one day. If the attributes aren't close to what I need and the piece isn't unique in some way, I'm not keeping it. Prototype gear already gives us enough things to save. We don't need to keep every average piece that drops. And real quick, I also want to mention gear sets. All I really have to say, guys, is don't have gear sets in your stash that you don't use at all. Quickly, before we get back into the video, I want to show you guys something that can save you a lot of time in Division 2. This is diving.net. They offer a bunch of Division 2 services like progression help, builds, and different in-game activities. So, for example, you can come here and click on something like Prototype Core Farm, which is in demand right now like crazy, and see all the options that are available depending on what you're looking for. Not to mention, you can also use my promo code for 15% off. One thing I like is that they offer services without account sharing, which is obviously very important. Another thing is they have 24/7 live chat support if you have any questions or you need help at any given time. So thank you diving.net for sponsoring this video. If you're interested, the link will be in the description and you can use my code PROCLAIM at the checkout. Now let's get back into the video. Moving on, then there's the biggest stash killer of all time, the maybe one day pieces. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe this talent will get buffed. Maybe this brand set becomes useful. Maybe I will make a build around this eventually. And before you know it, you've got 50 pieces sitting there for a build that doesn't even exist. Those are the pieces I try to be ruthless with. So that's generally what gets deleted first. Duplicate exotics, poor rolls, old gear sets I don't use anymore, and random pieces that are only staying because of a hypothetical future build. Now on the flip side, there are some things I almost never delete, especially after the prototype update. The first category is prototype gear. Right now we still don't know exactly how prototype recalibration is going to evolve in the future. The developers have already hinted that more systems could be coming, so personally I'm holding on to good prototype pieces whenever I find them. Those are some of the last things I'd ever consider deleting because it's so hard to get a triple maxed out prototype roll in the current game's RNG state. The next thing I always keep an eye on is named items. Some named items are easy to farm, but others can take a while to replace. For example, the Hollow Man. If I get a strong named item with good attributes, that usually earns a stash slot for me. Now, the background has just been a little bit of B-roll, but one thing I want to emphasize that is the massive tip is that you can create 3 other characters aside from your main character to have a total of 4 characters on the Division 2. And the best thing you could do for these prototype gear items that I just talked about is hop on that alt character that isn't your main character and just stock up your inventory space on that character. So your 3 other characters aside from your main one essentially become a mini stash in itself. And this has been huge for me. This is the bread and butter. This is the reason why in just like 30 minutes I was able to bring down my stash more than halfway. So the other thing I just want to finally mention is I like to keep some pieces that are future proof, and these are pieces that have potential regardless of what happens in the future because it just has a meta talent, strong attributes, or it's just a strong brand bonus in general. So best example of that would probably be Striker's battle gear because I don't see them nerfing that anytime soon, if anytime in the future. So for me, prototype gear, named items, unique roles, and future-proof pieces are genuinely protected from the chopping block. Everything else has to justify why it's taking up one of those 500 precious stash slots. So that's pretty much how I personally manage my stash in Division 2. At the end of the day, there's no perfect system. Everyone values different gear, everyone plays different builds, and everyone has that one item sitting in their stash that they're convinced they'll use one day. But for me, the biggest thing is being realistic about what I'm actually going to play. Prototype gear has definitely made inventory management harder, and that's why I basically made this video. And at the start of this video, we started at maxed out 500 slots, and then now I'm down to 250 or less, which honestly feels a lot better. I'm definitely curious though, what does your stash look like? Are you comfortably under 300, or are you just hoarding like me, like a maniac? Anyways, whatever the case is, let me know in the comments. I appreciate everyone for watching this video. We're so close to 2,000 subscribers, so if you could like, comment, subscribe once again, I appreciate all of you. More videos to come, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.